My pranams to all Atma Jyotis, divine light of the self. I welcome one and all for today's session of Brahmasutra. There is a small mistake in communication. Yesterday, I told today's last class. Today's last class of Brahmasutra Pada 3, third Pada of 4th chapter. I have one more Pada for which requires 3 more classes. So Brahmasutra last class of 4th chapter will be 3 more classes later. A small mistake in communication. Sorry for that. The third Pada will end today. What is this 4th Pada? Third Pada is about what will happen to what we call as Upasaka when he goes to Brahmaloka. Now, 4th Pada is about what will happen to a Brahmadnani. Okay, most of the time in Bhagavad Gita and all, we have heard Sthita Pratna Lakshana. How does he make a living? How does he live? Jivan Mukta. So, really, what happens to a Brahmadnani once he gets Dana is discussed in the 4th Pada. So, that we will take up in next 3 classes. Okay. So, let us start with the prayer. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram. So we'll start contemplation on Brahmasutra, 4th chapter, 3rd Pada, remaining sutras. So 4th chapter is about Mukti, liberation. There are 3 types of jivas or souls. An ignorant soul who doesn't know who he is, he doesn't understand, he has not realized himself. He will go through cycle of birth and death. Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, millions and trillions of births and deaths. A Upasaka has done a meditation. He is meditation. He is in the mental plane. Okay, he has done worship of God. Meditation he has done. Okay, so that Upasaka, after death, he will go to Brahmaloka. And then he study Brahmadnana under the guidance of Ishvara, and then he'll get a mukti, liberation. It'll take a couple of trillion years. Whereas a Gnani, after death, doesn't travel anywhere. Gnani attains Brahman. Here, he becomes Jivatma, Paramatma, merger has happens. So when Gnani is there, so Gnani is a body, one body of Gnani appears. It's like an instrument. Really, Jivatma of Gnani has merged with the Paramatma. When you meet a Gnani, you're actually meeting Ishvara, Brahman. The consciousness in the Gnani is Ishvara. It's already merged. That's why it's called Jivan Mukta. Okay, then after death, he doesn't have to go anywhere. He cannot go anywhere because he has already merged. A river has merged with the ocean. River doesn't have a place to go. So after death, he becomes Videha Mukta. So this is it. Right now in the Pada 3, we are discussing about the Upasaka. What's happening to Upasaka? Pada 4, which I'll start from Friday, we'll discuss about what Gnani, what will happen to him. So as I told you, there are 14 lokas. Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Suvarloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka, higher level lokas. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Rasatala, Patala, lower level lokas. So there are two paths for people who die. Path of no return, where Adnani, of course, I have told you, he again and again is born in Bhuloka. He doesn't go anywhere. Punarapi Janam, Punarapi Marana. But we are speaking of somebody who has done a Upasana or meditation. He has spent his life meditating on Shiva, Vishnu, or Devi. So he will go to a path of no return on the from Bhuloka to Satyaloka. Satyaloka, when he hears Satyaloka, means that Devata Loka, that Ishta Devata Loka. It can be Vishnu Loka, Vaikunta, it can be Shiva Loka, or it can be Devi Loka, whichever Loka, whichever Upasana he has done, that Loka will go. But he doesn't return to earth. This is what we have discussed, right? This is a one-way ticket. Now, in this Pada, the question is really one-way ticket. Are there some people who return also? That question is being asked. That question is being addressed now. So then the path of return is there. Somebody has done a good punya. He has not done upasana. He says, I will do dharma, I will do yajna, I will do puja, but my purpose is my life should be comfortable. He'll get a punya, good merit. He'll go to Swargaloka, and after exhausting punya, he comes back to earth. Okay. So then the third category is there. Gnani, he doesn't go anywhere. In Jivatma, Paramatma has merged, has happened in earth through Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa. Mukti has happened. Jivan Mukta has become. He doesn't travel anywhere. Death, he has reached his destination. The river has merged with the ocean. After river merging with the ocean, river has nowhere to go, no place to go. Right? Whereas these people, Upasaka, river has not merged with the ocean. River is there. Still the ocean is somewhere. So yesterday we asked two questions. He goes to Brahmaloka. Now what will happen in Brahmaloka? The Upasaka will get a Gnana under the guidance of Brahmaji or Ishvara. Right? Ishvara has to become Guru there. So either you do in Bhuloka, you get a Guru who is Gnani, who is nothing but a representation of Ishvara, do Sravana Manana Nidhyasa, get a Mukti in the Bhuloka, or you have to go to Satyaloka. Study. There you will get a do Upasana under the guidance of again Ishvara, Shravana Manana Nidhyasa, then Mukti. Please understand, for Mukti, teaching has to come from a Ishvara. A human being cannot teach Atmadana in that sense. Human being can give a lecture on Atmadana, but teaching Atmadana or Mukti will happen under the guidance of a Guru who is nothing but Ishvara. That means Jivatma has to merge with Paramatma. This is called Brahmanishta. Are you understanding? It is like saying, I want to I want to do earn a lot of money, billionaire. Then you have to learn under a billionaire. You can't learn under a beggar. Okay. So a Gnani Guru is required while you are alive in Bhuloka, then you'll get Jivan Mukti. If you have not got it, then you'll have to go to Sargaloka, Devata Loka, Vaikuntha Loka or Shiva Loka. There you have to go to, again the same Ishvara will teach you directly. Okay. So then there's a Mukti after a couple of billion, trillion years. That's what we discussed. Now the question being addressed is that everybody who goes to, everybody who does Upasana will go to Brahmaloka, or there are some people, exceptions. What about this Loka? Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka? Will some people go? All people will go to Satyaloka only, or some people will go to the lower level lokas? Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka. So the answer is yes. Not 100% Upasakas will go to Brahmaloka. Some percentage will go to other Loka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka. Are you getting what I'm saying? So, if I do Upasana, is it guaranteed that I'll go to Brahmaloka? Not necessarily. Then, path of no return applies to only people who go to Brahmaloka. People who go to Tapoloka, Janaloka, Satyaloka, Maharloka, they will return. Return ticket is there for them. What is 3? What is only 2? These are past candidates. Past candidates from go to here to here. There are some failed candidates who will go in between also. We are not speaking of the failed candidates. That means who are not successfully reached Brahmaloka. Are you clear? No, I'm saying he has gone up to, and I'm saying he has, the Jiva, he has gone to up to Vidyut Loka. The Loka of electricity has gone. From there, Ativahaka Purusha, special person will come and take him to Brahmaloka, we have said yesterday. Right? So Ativahaka Purusha will take only people who are eligible to Brahmaloka from there. Other people will go from that Loka to Janaloka, Tapoloka, Maharloka. That's what is the next sutra. Who are the eligible people? I'll tell you. Are we clear? So what we said, a Upasaka, once he dies, his subtle body will travel through Sushumna Nadi, go through Brahmarandra, and all the way it goes to Brahmaloka. A long journey. So Brahmaloka is like the place of Ishvara. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, Shiva Loka, Devi Loka, all these lokas. Upasana, where done. So is Vishnu not here? Vishnu is here also. It's like Prime Minister is the government is here, Bangalore also is there, government is there, but Prime Minister has an office in Delhi. Like that, Vishnu or Loka is there in some place. Are you getting what I'm saying? Vishnu pervades, when Vishnu rules the whole of the world, at the same time, a central place is there. The central place is called Vishnu Loka, Shiva Loka. So this Jiva is traveling to his Ishtadevata Loka. So before going, he has to go through 13 worlds. Deity of fire, Agni Loka, deity of day, Ahar Loka, deity of full half moon. It is actually called bright half of moon. Then deity of 6 months, Uttarayana, deity of year, like that. Now he has reached the deity of lightning. 10th Loka he has reached. So that time, a Atimanusha Purusha, a special person created by Brahmaji will come and receive him at the Loka of deity, 10th Loka. Then him take you to Brahma Loka. This is what I heard. Now, the question is Atimanusha Purusha taking everybody from 10th, everybody who has reached 10th Loka to Brahma Loka? Okay. So the question is, everybody who reached the 10th Loka will report Brahma Loka, or there are other Lokas, right? Bhuloka, Bhuloka, Swarga Loka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapo Loka. So somebody will go to Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapo Loka, the lower Lokas, or everybody is guaranteed to go to Brahma Loka. That question is being addressed now. Are you clear? So now, who goes to Swarga Loka, Bhuloka, Bhuloka, Swarga Loka? Already we discussed. So somebody has done good punya, but he's not done upasana. Now, who is going to other loka? Janaloka, Tapoloka, Maharloka, the lower lokas. They are not muktas. They are not jivan muktas. They are there. They will have a return to earth. No return to earth is applicable to only to Brahmaloka. And that is only special jiva who Atimanusha Purusha will carry from 10th Loka. So now we are coming to Karya Adhikaranam. Okay. Karya Adhikaranam here, the departed souls go by the path of gods to Saguna Brahma. That's what we have discussed last time. Now, argument is being put by Jaimini. Last argument was by which Rishi? Badari Rishi. Badari Acharya discussed where they will go. So the Jaimini Rishi acts as a Purvapakshi. He'll give opposite viewpoint. Purvapakshi, normally Purvapakshi is brought in as a separate person, or one of the Shishyas of Vyasa Maharishi itself act as a Purvapakshi. Jaimini Maharishi comes as a Purvapakshi. No, he'll go to Brahma Loka, Brahman only. He'll say. Why? The reason is given. Right? So, Om Athato Brahma Jidnasa Om Param Jaimini Mukyatvat. So Jaimini says, okay, no, I don't agree with the view of Badari, Acharya Badari, I don't agree. The Upanishad says Brahman, he says. Upanishad says he'll go to Brahman. We have to take him as Parabrahma only. He'll become Mukta only. All Upasakas will be Mukta. We should take a main meaning. We should not take a secondary meaning. So Brahman, you said secondary meaning because Saguna Brahma is very close to Parabrahma. That's why you take a secondary meaning. You should not take secondary meaning. You should take a Parabrahma. All Upasakas will go to Parabrahma. He'll become Mukta. He's giving an argument. Right? So he is acting like a Purvapakshi to tell us, bring the truth. Okay? So now, what is the argument of Jaimini? Jaimini Rishi says, primary meaning of Brahman only, no. When the primary meaning of Brahman is Parabrahma only, no. When the primary meaning is there, you should not take secondary meaning as Saguna Brahma. The word Upanishad, every word is very important. Right? You cannot twist and take your own secondary meaning. You have to take Upanishad's Brahman means Brahman only, Parabrahma only. So he will go to Parabrahma. He doesn't go to any other Loka. So we should not take a secondary meaning. This is what Jaimini says. So Jaimini is acting like a Purupakshi to tell us, bring more clarity into understanding of the teaching. By all this process, they say the teaching of Upanishad is very important, very sacred. We should not twist it. Little bit twisting will take us somewhere else. Teaching of Upanishad or teaching of enlightened master, Dani, Guru, little bit masala you add, it will go somewhere else. That's what is the meaning. Or vasanas and impressions. We should take very carefully their words. Even a single spelling we should take carefully. That's what is the meaning. Because they are all revelations from Narayana. So Jaimini says, I don't agree with the views of Badari Acharya. Jaimini is acting like a Purupakshina. So the superhuman being or Atimanusha Purusha will take from the Vidyut Loka to Brahma Loka, you said. But the word uses Brahman. Brahman is used. Word Brahman is used. Word Brahman can be used only for Parabrahma. Like word Prime Minister can be used for only for Prime Minister. Okay. So you should not take a secondary meaning called Saguna Brahma, Ishvara. This is the opinion of Acharya Jaimini. Clear? So now the Acharya Jaimini and Acharya Badri, there's a conflict of opinion. That has to be resolved. Acharya Jaimini will come back and say, I also have proof. I also have Upanishads will tell same thing. Right? He'll also give a quotation from Upanishad and to prove his argument. So, Darshanacha Om. So, Darshanacha means, he says, just like Badri Acharya has given some quotation from Upanishad to prove his argument, I will also give quotation from Upanishad to prove my argument that he will go to Parabrahma only. Why bring an intermediate station called the Saguna Brahma? Yeah, all the Upasakas are go to Mukta, Brahma Loka. This is the Jaimini is trying to tell. He is saying Parabrahma only. No, yeah. Brahma Loka means Saguna Brahma Loka. Parabrahma is Mukti. So, no, he says the going to should mean that he is merging with Brahman, liberated. Are you clear? So now he gives an argument for that. Just like Jaimini has given Badri has given argument, he also gives argument. I'll also quote from Upanishad. It's like in the court, no, my lord. Okay, as per this law is like this. There's an interpretation here like that. He is giving his interpretation of Upanishad. Then finally, both have to be resolved. So what is the interpretation is giving? So Kathopanishad we have studied already, right? Nachiketa and Yamadharmaraya discussion. Kathopanishad says a Upasaka will leave his body through Sushumna Nadi, central channel, and then he'll go on Shukla Gati, Devayana Marga, and then attains immortality. Immortal means Amritattvam. Okay, Kathopanishad says that Amritattvam. That means going through Sushumna Nadi and going to Devayana Marga, it attains Amritattvam. Immortality. Immortality means what? Immortality means Parabrahma only. Nobody can attain immortality by going to Saguna Brahma Loka. So this comes under two Upanishads, Chandogya Upanishad and Kathopanishad. So that means all Upasakas will get a Mukti. Okay. Immortality is not possible for any other Loka. Even if you meet Ishvara, immortality is not possible. So many people think that having a darshan of God is Mukti. Duryodhana many times met Krishna, had a wonderful food, many times food, breakfast, and also fights with Krishna. No Mukti. Understand? Mukti is not about meeting God. So many people think, oh, I'll meditate and God will appear in front of me. That's a vision. Vision is not mukti. Mukti means atma-jnana, realization. What is realization? Jivatma, Paramatma, ekatvam. Nanembudu, nanalla, ideha, manabuddhi, nanalla, sachidanandatma, shivananu nani, shivoham, shivoham, shivoham. Realization. Now realization is jnana. It's not an experience. A clarity. I am Brahman. Okay. So that clarity is mukti. Without that clarity, even if you go to Brahmaloka and meet Ishvara in person, you sit in front of Ishvara, do some service, or Ishvara invites you to become one of his office. In office, you do work of Ishvara. Still, the liberation is not possible. You go to Ishvara Loka also, is not possible. In Ishvara Brahmaloka also, you have to learn, continue education. What education? Bhagavad Gita, Brahmasutras, Upanishad education, you have to continue that. Just because you have reached Ishvara Loka, don't be under the impression that you're mukti, right? But Kathopanishad says he'll go to Sushumna Nadi and he'll go to Amritattva, means liberation. So that means we have to say he is not going to Saguna Brahma Loka, he is going to Parabrahma only. He is getting mukti. This is what Acharya Jaimini is making argument based on Kathopanishad and Chandogya Upanishad. Now, which of this is true? See, these are all very educated people. These are very learned people. All nanis. If they can themselves can raise such doubts, what about the people who are like us? We'll have so much of confusion. So their Acharya Jaimini is raising the doubt only to clarify, only to give clarity to us. He doesn't have doubt. So Acharya Jaimini says, let us, I'll also give a proof from Upanishad. Kathopanishad and Chandogya Upanishad say, Upasaka who meditates and leaves his body through Sushumna Nadi goes to Brahmaloka, goes to and Shukla, he goes in Devayana Marga or Shuklagati, a path of light, and attains immortality. Immortality means Parabrahma. Okay. So he quotes Kathopanishad and Chandogya Upanishad. Both Upanishads give that reference. Then he says, Brahman means you have to take it as Parabrahma only. He'll become Mukta only. Okay. This is the argument. Now, counter argument is to be given by Badari. Badari or Vyasa Maharshi or Shankaracharya will give the counter argument to make these two viewpoints same. There should not be any confusion. So, nacha karye pratipatti abhisandhihi. So, this guy Acharya Badari concludes saying, who wants to die at the time of death? At the time of death, everybody wants mukti only, no? Anybody wants to go to Saguna Brahma and spend more time? The desire is for mukti only. The desire to attain Brahman at the time of death cannot be with respect to Saguna Brahma. It should be Parabrahma only. That's why he goes to Parabrahma Loka. Who will say, I will spend another million, trillion years in Saguna Brahma Loka and then I'll get mukti? Who will say that? Everybody wants mukti only, no? Immediately. Why you want the postponed result? The desire is mukti only. So, desire is mukti only, he'll get attain Parabrahma only. This is the argument, conclusive. What is it? Acharya Jaimini is concluding. Right? Anybody wants to die, anybody is dying at the time of death, he has done Upasana. Why he has done Upasana? To get mukti. Now, if he's getting mukti, why are you sending him to Saguna Brahma Loka, make him spend time in a lot of time there? He'll go to Brahma Loka only. That's why he's called Brahman. So, Brahman means Parabrahma only you have to take. This is the argument. So, now the argument, a counter argument is to be given by Acharya Badari or Adi Shankara or Vyasa Maharshi. So Acharya Badri also quotes Chandogya Upanishad. Chandogya Upanishad, see, you have said he goes to Amritatva, get liberated. Before that, just see what is the sloka said. The Upasaka says at the time of death, he prays to Ishvara, Bhagavan. Okay, prayer of us says, I should go to Hall of Brahman. That means I should go to Palace of Brahman. Okay, see the sloka in Chandogya Upanishad. Chandogya Upanishad says, the prayer of Upasaka is, I want to go to Palace of Brahman. Okay, right? So he is asking for a place. He is not asking for Parabrahma Majja. The prayer, Chandogya Upanishad only, quotation. Okay, so why place? Because we have heard of Vaikunta when you listen to Bhagavatam and all. Vaikunta is a beautiful place. Everything is made up of gold. Vishnu is there. There are so many devatas are there. It's a wonderful place. There's a description of Vaikunta Loka, or there's a description of Shiva Loka. We have heard in Puranas, correct? So this guy knows that Vaikunta Loka is a beautiful palace of Vishnu. I want to go to Palace of Vishnu and Bhagavan Vishnu and I meet him. Ishta Devata. That's the prayer, right? So if you are asking for going to Palace of Vishnu, how can you say he's going to Parabrahma? The Acharya Badri is countering Jaimini. Jaimini says he goes to Parabrahma, he'll get Mukta. But Upasaka himself in Chandogya Upanishad only is asking for going to place, a palace, right? Sriman Vishnu and Lakshmi Devi is there in a palace, a beautiful place, Vaikunta Loka. Or Shiva and Parvati are there in Kailas Loka. So if they themselves are asking, Sadhaka itself is asking to a Saguna Brahma, why are you saying we'll go into Parabrahma? This is the argument of Acharya Badri. Jaimini Acharya comes back and says, gives a counter argument. No. Just read one sloka before that. Okay, the sloka is about mukti. Sloka is about amritatvam, attainment of mukti, immortality. In the Chandogya Upanishad itself, see the complete paragraph. So the sloka is about attaining mukti. Okay, liberation. Just before he has prayed for going to Palace of Ishta Devata, the prayer is for mukti, amritatvam. Another, he is attaining amritatvam, the Upanishad says. Now, how you can come back and say, that's why he is going to Parabrahma. See the context, right? Context, like anything you tell, on the what background he is telling. Context you have to understand. With the context you have to understand, right? With the background is he is getting amritatva, liberation. That's why, so palatial palace also you should understand it's Parabrahma only, for Parabrahma only. This is what, who is saying? Jaimini is countering. Jaimini is counter argument. Okay. So now, two very evolved, enlightened beings are arguing with each other. Both are giving valid proofs, valid quotations. Vyasa Maharshi or Shankaracharya now has to make a sense out of this discussion. Otherwise, sadhakas, all our upasakas, sadhakas will get confused. So, what is the conclusion? The first thing is, Badri says, Acharya Jaimini says, okay, Upasaka will get amritatva, liberation, right? Going through Sushumna Nadi, going Devaya Marga will get liberation. Whereas Acharya Badri is saying, he is going to Saguna Brahmaloka. Now, two Upanishad Vakyas cannot be false. Either this is true or that is true. Right? So, Shankaracharya comes and says, both are true. How both are true? The Upasaka will get mukti only. It didn't tell which, what, when, what time. When did we get mukti? He didn't tell immediately we'll get mukti. Okay. So Upanishad Vakya which says he gets Amrutatva is correct only. It didn't tell Amrutatva immediately. Okay. That's why he'll spend some time in Saguna Brahmaloka, preparing for Mukti. Right? So he'll get Mukti. Mukti is guaranteed. But time is not specified in Upanishad. So Upanishad cannot be wrong. Both sentences are correct only. What Acharya Jain is saying, Acharya Badri is saying, correct only. Okay. So he'll get Mukti, that's correct. But he'll get Mukti after a couple of million or trillion years. Time is not specified. So he is not ready. He has not got Atma Dana when he is in earth plane. Shravana, Manana, Nidhyasa has not done under the guidance of a guru. So he goes to Ishvara. Ishvara is out of compassion, will prepare him for the Mukti. It's like in engineering, or rather in IAS and all, right? IAS and all. So people are going to IAS examination. So there are IAS preparatory courses. So you go to school where IAS preparation, then you go to exams. IIT entrance exam, there is a preparation school. So then you go to IIT entrance exam. So school is there. So Ishvara, Brahmaloka will become a school for him, for education which is not completed, to get Mukti. Shravana, Manana, Nidhyasa of Bhagavad Gita, Brahmasutras, Upanishad, he has to do there. He'll get Mukti. So both Upanishads are correct. He'll get Mukti or liberation is correct only. But he didn't tell when. Understand? So both sentences are correct. What Acharya Badri is saying is correct. Acharya Jain is saying correct only. But we have to understand properly. So then he comes to this thing. Other argument. Other argument is the Jaimini says the Upasaka is praying for entering into the palace of Ishtadevata, Vaikuntha Loka, Shiva Loka, where there is a place. Okay. So the clarification here, this is coming from a Chandogya Upanishad. Chandogya Upanishad has a Vidya called Dahara Vidya. Vidya means, Vidya has two meanings. Right? Vidya means Upasana and Vidya means Jnana. Brahma Vidya means Brahma Jnana. Vidya has two meanings. Upasana means meditation also is Vidya and Jnana is also Vidya. Meditation is mental activity, Jnana is intellectual clarity. Meditation, Upasana purifies, Jnana clarifies. So Vidya word is used both the places. Clarity and purity is used. So Chandogya Upanishad, both of you are quoting now. Badri Acharya and Jaimini Acharya are quoting both from Chandogya Upanishad. Where is it coming? That's called Dahara Vidya. So Dahara Vidya means in your heart, visualize space of the heart, a tiny space in the heart. In the tiny space in the heart, it's called Dahara Akasha. Dahara Akasha means a tiny space in the heart. Visualize and meditate on Purusha or Brahman, Atma there. Okay. So that is the sloka. Chandogya Upanishad. Both Jaimini Acharya and Badri Acharya are quoting from that sloka only. Okay. So Jaimini said, he will attain mukti, it said. Right? And then he said, Jaimini Acharya, we have to take a primary meaning called Param. Param means Parabrahma. Brahman we have to take. So Adi Shankara or Vyasa Maharishi is saying, my dear Jaimini, there is a small correction required. Correction required is, you have to understand the context of teaching. Context of teaching is Dahara Vidya, means meditation on the Saguna Brahma. So in that context, Brahman is mentioned. That's why he leads to reach Brahmaloka. Context is important. You are saying Param means Brahman only, correct only. But in which context is said? The context means background. Right? So the background is very important. Without understanding background, if you speak one word and say that meaning, it will be different meaning. So Brahman means you have to take Saguna Brahma, because the context of Chandogya Upanishad teaching is Dhara Vidya. Dhara Vidya means meditation on the Saguna Brahma in your heart. So context is important. Right? You understand what is the meaning of context? See, husband and wife are working in the office, same office. Okay. The wife comes and shouts at the husband in the office. Now, what context she shouted? She shouted as an employee, as another employee, or she shouted as a wife as a husband. Context is important. It is an office environment. So she shouted for office work as employee, not as wife as husband. So without understanding context, we will make mistake. In the same office, husband and wife are working. The wife comes and shouts at the husband. Then he'll say, oh, she's a wife, she started shouting at her husband. No, she is an employee shouting at her husband as an office worker. Context is office. So in Chandogya Upanishad, context is Saguna Brahma Upasana in your heart. So that's why in Brahman you say, it means Saguna Brahma. Is the clarification correct? Then immediately Acharya Jaimini says, so what? In that itself, it's mentioned that he will attain mukti. How can Saguna Brahma Upasana get mukti? So then clarification is, read Chandogya Upanishad very carefully. Okay. In Chandogya Upanishad, Upasana is prescribed. What is that? Dhara Vidya. In the heart, meditate on Brahman. The Dhara Vidya is prescribed and practice is prescribed. Two types of practice is prescribed. One is Saguna Upasana and Nirguna Upasana is prescribed there. In the same Upanishad, same sloka. If you take Saguna Upasana, you'll go to Brahmaloka. If you do Nirguna Upasana, you get a mukti. Same Upasana is applicable to both. One Upasana has two ways of doing it. So Nirguna Upasana is also there in the Dhara Vidya. Those who do Nirguna Upasana will go to Brahmaloka. Nirguna Upasana is Atma Dana. Nanu, Nanembudu, Nanalla, Ideha, Manabuddhi, Nanalla, Sachidananda Atma, Shivanam Nani, Shivoham, Shivoham. That's also there only in the same Upanishad, same context is there. You read carefully. You can do Saguna Upasana, you'll go to Brahmaloka. You go to Nirguna Upasana, you'll get a Jivan Mukti. So this is the clarification for the discussion between the Acharya Badri and Acharya Jaimini. Who gives this clarification? Vyasa Maharshi would have given clarification. Adi Shankara would have given clarification. Is it clear? The discussion is complete. So Badri says, Acharya Badri says, Upasaka is praying in Chandogya Upanishad. I'll go to Hall of Brahman, palatial Hall of Brahman. I'll go to Palace of Brahman. Means it's a place. That's why he's going to Saguna Brahmaloka. Jaimini Acharya says, before the prayer, okay, Brahman is mentioned. He'll go to Brahman. So that means Parabrahmaloka or Mukti is to be discussed. So the prayer is to reach Parabrahma. That's what Jaimini Acharya is saying. Who will pray for going to Saguna Brahmaloka? Everybody wants Mukti only. The prayer intention is Mukti only. So Adi Shankara clarifies. The teaching is important, but you have to understand the teaching context. The background you have to understand. The lady comes and shouts at the man in the office. The lady is wife and husband in the house, but she is shouting as an employee. The context is important. It's related to office work, not related to homework. So similarly, the context is important. Context is Dhara Vidya, meditation on Brahman in the heart. So if Saguna Brahma meditation is done, he will go to Palace of Brahman, Vaikuntha Loka. Same Upasana applies to Nirguna Brahma also, Jnana also. Okay, in the same sloka. If you done Nirguna Upasana, then you get a Mukti. So that whatever Acharya Jaimini and Acharya Badri both are saying correct, but you have to understand the context properly. Is it clear? So then Jaimini comes back and says, Brahman, when they were mentioned that is neutral gender, right? If Saguna Brahma is there, he should have been male. Vishnu is male, no. Shiva is male, no. Or Shiva or Shakti, Devi is female, no. Gender should be mentioned. Gender is not mentioned. Neutral gender is mentioned. Parabrahma is neutral. It's not male, masculine, feminine. If Saguna Brahma is there, then you have to mention, no. If he is going to Devi Loka, she is to be there. If you go to Vaikuntha Loka, he should be there. Masculine or feminine should be there. Neutral gender means Parabrahma, because all pervading reality, Parabrahma, only is neutral gender possible. So, objection is Parabrahma only should go, not Saguna Brahma. Again, Jaimini Acharya is saying. So then Acharya Badri comes back and says, you have to understand again, Parabrahma is all pervading. There's no place for Parabrahman. Like space is everywhere. Space is everywhere. So you can say, I am going from here to Mysore. There's a road possible. There's a journey possible. If you say, I am going to space, how will you go to space? This is space, that is space. Everywhere space is there. So going to space is a pathless path. There's no path. Everywhere space is there. Here is back, front, top, bottom, everywhere space is there. Parabrahman is everywhere, like space. So to say the Parabrahma, to go to Parabrahma, I have to go to 14 lokas, Ativaka Purusha has to take to me. It is meaningless. Okay. So Devayana or journey of Shuklagati speaks of a real journey. It's not a fake journey. 14 lokas are mentioned. Atimanusha Purusha is coming. So then we say journey is happening. Journey means place. So it's not Parabrahma. Parabrahma, there's no journey possible. If I have to go to space, how will you go? This is space, that is space. You cannot, if I have to go to Mysore, I can catch a bus and go. Journey is there. If I have to go to space, I turn left, there's space. I turn right, space. So Parabrahma, being all pervading reality, only you can get through Jnana. Jnana matra. Mukti is possible with Jnana. Mukti is not possible by traveling. Journey. Is it clear? So that's why Badri says, you can go to a city, reach a journey by journey. So Brahma Loka is the journey. 14 lokas have to go. From here to Mysore I have to go. I'll have to get Chandrayapatna. I'll have to go to another Mandya. Like journey is there. So stations are mentioned. 14 lokas are mentioned. That's why he is going to Saguna Brahma Loka. He is going to palace of Vaikuntha or Shiva. Place. That's Badri conclusion. Right? So now, Vyasa Maharshi and Shankaracharya, calm down. Both of you are arguing correctly only. He will get mukti only. Okay? But mukti will get through after getting jnana. Okay? Both Upanishad Vakyas are correct only. So for getting jnana, he wants mukti only. You are also correct. Everybody at the time of death, they want mukti only, liberation only. Your understanding is correct only. But for liberation, is not ready, no. He has not got jnana, no. So he'll go to Saguna Brahma Loka for getting jnana. Preparation for mukti. Finally, he'll get mukti. So be happy, Acharya Badri. Be happy, Acharya Jaimini. Both of you are saying correct. Upanishads cannot be wrong. Clear? So next loka. Apratika Alambanat iti Badarayana Ubayata Adoshat Tat Kratuhucha. So Badarayana means Vyasa Maharshi. Okay. So now Vyasa Maharshi is trying to conclude the Pada 3. What? Upasana Pada. Right? Pada, Upasana means meditation. What will happen to meditator? What will happen to Gnani is next Pada, 4th Pada. So Badarayana says, the superhuman being leads to Brahma Loka only. It doesn't take Saguna Brahma Loka only. Now he will put a conditions apply here. The conditions is those who do not use symbol for Brahman or meditation. I'll tell you what is the meaning of that. Pratika. Pratika means Vigraha. So why he says, what you meditate, you become. So now this is actually qualification for going to other lokas. Brahmaloka qualification is discussed now, over. Brahmaloka and Mukti qualification is discussed. Now who will go to other loka? Other loka is Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka. That discussion is being brought here. So what is the discussion? Pratika Avalambana is discussion. Pratika Avalambana means what will happen to people who have done Upasana. Okay. But the Upasana they have done using one Vigraha, one form. Understand? One form they have done. Pratika. Like I have a Saligrama, a stone, or I have a Shivalinga, or I have a statue of Sri Krishna. Correct? So now, what will happen to them? The Purva Pakshi comes and says, everyone who has done Upasana will go to Brahmaloka, then finally get Mukti. Guaranteed. Badara and Vyasa Maharshi comes back and says, no, it's not guaranteed. Some correction. So Upanishad says, one-way traffic, no path of no return, under certain condition. Apratika Avalambanat. Apratika Avalambanat means those who are not depending on Vigraha for meditation of Brahman, they will go to Brahmaloka. Those who think the Vigraha or the statue is Brahman, they will go to lower Loka. So I told you Upasana means what I have told you earlier. Right? What is Upasana means? Upasana is using a symbol. Omkara can be symbol, or Vigraha can be symbol, right? Or Saligrama, a stone, or Linga. So I give you an example, right? Somebody says, I want to respect India, my dear India. So the flag he takes. So flag he does salute. Flag is given a respect. Flag is given as respect for India. India's culture, India's respecting India through flag. Okay. So similarly, we are respecting Ishvara through a symbol, a Saligrama or Linga or a Vigraha. Respecting Ishvara. Now, if you respect Ishvara through the Vigraha, fine. But some people start thinking that Vigraha is Ishvara. They'll get stuck with the flag itself. The Vigraha doesn't become as a means, Vigraha becomes the end for them. Means they end up in lower level meditation. Are you getting what I'm saying? So Apratika Avalambana means Vigraha is used, but he has constantly think of Ishvara, Brahman. Vigraha is only used as a means. But some people end up with Vigraha as the end only. This is Ishvara. Like thinking flag is country. Flag represents the country and constantly focus should be on the country, culture, country. The Vigraha represents Ishvara. So constantly we think of the qualities of Ishvara. So these people end up in their mind doesn't go to that far. Their mind is stuck with the symbol, Vigraha. So that means they are not qualified for Brahmaloka. Apratika. Apratika means Vigraha, statue, sculpture. So you end up in identifying the statue as Ishvara rather than statue is used as a means of Ishvara. Are you clear? Understanding the difference? So then what will happen? They are not qualified for Brahmaloka. They'll go to lower level lokas. Why he says, same Chandogya Upanishad, 2.1 to 2.14, lists a lot of upasanas, various types of upasana we can do. And each upasana will give what is the phala, benefit also is told. Are you getting it? So Upasana benefit is told already. So Upasana benefit, what is told in Chandogya Upanishad is not Brahmaloka. Chandogya Upanishad, Upasana benefit of Brahmaloka is apratika avalampana. Certain way of meditation so that you go to Brahmaloka. Not every way of meditation will go lead to Brahmaloka. Chandogya Upanishad puts a list of classes. These are the 10 different types of Upasana. Many different Upasanas it gives. Upasana meditation. All meditation practice will not lead you to Brahmaloka. So it says, if you do this meditation, you'll go, this benefit will get. If you do this meditation, this benefit. If you do apratika avalambana, that means you constantly think of Ishvara, only will get to Brahmaloka. Understand? So your meditation should be proper. Why? Whatever you think, you become. That's the principle. You become what you think. If you constantly think I'm an idiot, you'll become perfect idiot. If you constantly think that I'm not liberated, you'll become perfectly not liberated. If you constantly think that I'm a happy person, you'll become happy. If you constantly think I'm depressed, you'll become depressed. What you think, your life will become. If constantly thinks of Ishvara, he'll go to Brahmaloka. If you constantly thinks of some statue or pratika as Ishvara, then he'll go to that loka, lower loka, not the highest. So the way you meditate should be proper guidance, proper right meditation should be there based on the teachings of Upanishad. Otherwise, you will end up in a wrong place. You may have to do it very sincerely. See, by doing something wrong thing, can you get a right result? He says, Upanishad is the right way of doing something. And if you do this way, you'll get this also, they'll say. So why? Don't be under the impression that everybody will go to Brahmaloka. So Purva Pakshi is coming and saying, everybody who goes to Uttarayana Marga will go to Brahmaloka. No. Okay? Not true. There are many people who don't go to Brahmaloka, even they have done Upasana sincerely. Is it clear? Why? Because whatever you meditate, you become that. So that's why right meditation, right understanding is important. If you have right understanding but wrong meditation, then also you will mess problem. What is right understanding? Nanu, Nanembudu, Nanalla, Ideha, Manabuddhi, Nanalla, Sachidananda Atma, Shivananu Nani, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect, I'm pure consciousness. This is the right understanding. But then you wrongly meditate, I'm the body, I'm suffering. You'll get that only. Right understanding, but wrong meditation will lead to right understanding, and right meditation is called nididhyasa. The moment I am the body thought comes, again you have to remember I am Atma. The moment I am not liberated thought comes, I have to remember I am Atma, I am liberated. Right understanding, right meditation is important. Right understanding, wrong meditation lead to wrong place. Wrong understanding, wrong meditation lead to wrong place. So now it's a fashion. Now I meditate. So why are you meditating? What is meditation? So meditation is very fashion. No, everybody says I am meditator. What is the benefit of meditation? What is the result of meditation? Chandogya Upanishad gives very clearly. Otherwise, meditation has become fashion, right? And it's a confusion. Meditation means what is constantly there in your mind. With the right understanding, the wrong understanding has to be corrected. Okay, that's called jnana. Correcting the wrong understanding constantly, time to time, every minute is called nididhyasa. So then upasana is somebody does. There are so many upasanas prescribed in Chandogya Upanishad. Annam brahmeti upasita, pranam prano brahmeti upasita, jalam brahmeti upasita, nama brahmeti upasita. So upasana, there are many vigrahas or pratikas or symbols are prescribed. Anna means food itself is Brahman. Anna Brahma. Okay. When you eat food, oh, this food is God. People do upasana also. So Chandogya Upanishad says one who does Anna Brahma upasana, for him, he will not get Brahman, Brahmaloka. He will get good food in many lifetimes. He will have no problem shortage of food in any lifetime. Are you understanding? Food is God. Upasana is right. Anna Brahma, Chandogya Upanishad gives Upasana, but he'll tell the benefit of Upasana also. Why? If you say meditate, food is good, food is Brahman, food is God. The food God will come to you in all lifetimes. It doesn't give mukti. So jalam brahmeti upasita, water is Brahman. Then you will have never shortage of water at any point of time. Okay, any lifetime. What? These are pratika, means symbols. Water is symbol of God. How food is symbol of God? Food is God, means God is one who gives life. Food gives me life. Somebody says food is God only. There are so-called foodies, no? Right? They don't. I don't really know. Food is God for me, no? If I eat food, my body will grow. Food is what gives me health. Food is protects me. Food takes care of me. Without food, people will die. Food is God. Enjoy food. They do food Brahma Upasana or Anna Brahma. What you call as? Anna Brahma Upasana. So I'll say I don't believe in any God. No, food is God for me. Do you disagree? Food gives me life. No, no food, no death. No, God gives life and death. No, food is God only. And eat right food, energy will be there. Health will be good. That's why God gives health. Food is God. Upasana is correct only. But benefit of Upasana is you will have a good food throughout your life and you will have good food in next life also. But doesn't guarantee that you'll go to Brahmaloka. Correct? Then Nama Brahmeti Upasita. God's name is God. Okay. Vak Brahma. Speech is God. Okay. Speech is a symbol for God. Speech and Vak and Anna or Jala should be helping you to contemplate on the real nature of God. Should be pointer. Instead of that, you are catching hold of the point. Like a guru and Shishya are walking. Shishya asks Guruji, okay, what is the meaning of catching hold of words, not finding the meaning? So Guruji says, look at the moon, shows the finger. The dog coming with Guruji, he doesn't understand the meaning. Just the finger, it sees the finger, it doesn't know to look at the moon. So in Upasana, Annam Brahmeti Upasita, Jalam Brahmeti Upasita, Nama Brahmeti Upasita, Vigraha Upasana, Saligram Upasana are all given as means. For many people, it becomes the end. Instead of looking at the finger, what finger pointing, they start looking at the finger only. Nama means name of God is God. There's no other God. Name itself is God. Om, mantra, japa. So mantra of Hare Krishna mantra should be contemplate the qualities of Hare Krishna. So people end up in chanting of a million times because mantra becomes the end for them. Mantra is the means to think of the God's quality. Upasana is on God. Mantra, Nama is the means. But means become end for many people. Saguna only. We are speaking of Saguna only now here. Upasana means Saguna. The same Upasana, it becomes Nirguna when Shravana, Manana, Nidhyasa is there. So every Upasana has a phala. Nama Upasana, Vak Brahma Upasana, all this Upasana, Mano Brahmeti Upasita, all this Upasana, very clear description of what is the phala of Upasana is given in Chandogya Upanishad. If you do Upasana of the Vigraha, Pratika, if you do Upasana through Vigraha, means you constantly think of Ishvara quality, then you go to Brahmaloka. Right? Vigraha becomes a means, not the end. For some people, end up with the Vigraha itself as the end. Okay. So then Chandogya Upanishad says Panchagni Vidya. Panchagni Vidya is a Upasana. So one type of Upasana is there. If you do Panchagni Vidya is a very specific Upasana, you will go to Brahmaloka. Other Upasanas will have some result. So Upasana can be done to go to Brahmaloka or Ishtadevata Loka, or with Jnana, if you do, you get Mukti, Jivan Mukti. So Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Abrahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. 14 lokas are the places where you come back. Upanishad says, if you go to Brahma Loka, you don't come back. Bhagavad Gita is saying right or Upanishads are saying right? Bhagavad Gita is Smriti, Upanishad is saying Shruti. Bhagavad Gita is saying Abrahma Bhavan Loka. Even Brahma Loka, if you go, you'll come back. So now here it says, who will Abrahma Bhavan Loka means there are many people who don't qualify for Brahma Loka. They'll return back. Who are they? They have taken pratika upasana or form worship, but form worship has not become means for him to worship of the Ishvara. They're stuck with the form. Those people will go to next level loka. What are the other lokas? Tapoloka, Maharloka, Janloka. Will they get mukti there? No. They will have to come back to earth again. They'll have a path of return. There is some good punya. They have gone beyond Sargaloka. They'll spend good amount of time and come back to earth. Then what will happen to people who are in Brahmaloka? They studied under Brahmaji, Shravana Mana Nityas they did, but they didn't get mukti. Then what will happen to them? They will not come to earth. They'll be again brought in Brahmaloka, next Brahmaji's time. So all conditions are covered. So similarly, we will understand various conditions for a Jivan Mukta or Gnani. But that's in next pada. So the topic of discussion here is Amansha. Purva Pakshi says Amano Purusha, the special superhuman being, will take all upasakas from Vidyut Loka to Brahma Loka. Means everybody will go to, everybody is qualified. All upasakas are qualified. Siddhanti Vyasa Maharishi says, no. Be careful. Scriptures or Upanishads tell different types of upasana. Okay. Each upasana is called, has a upasana using a symbol, a practice. Each upasana has a specific benefit. Every upasana, what is specific benefit for each upasana is given very clearly. Anna Brahma upasana, if you worship food as upasana, food as symbol for Brahman, what is the benefit? What is the phala? Jala Brahmeti upasana, water itself is Brahman. If you meditate, what will happen? Nama Brahmeti, name itself is Brahman. If you meditate, what will happen? Vak, speech is Brahman. If you meditate and do upasana, what will happen? Mano Brahmeti upasita, what will happen? Each upasana is a specific benefit. They will go to lower loka. They will not go to Brahma loka. They will go to Vidyut loka, the world of electricity. From that, Atimano Purusha will not take them to Brahma loka. He will send them back to other lokas. After spending a lot of time in that loka, they will come back to earth. So this qualifies Bhagavad Gita shloka Abrahma Bhavana Loka Punavartita. So you are saying Upanishad saying Brahma Loka, if you go, you will not come back. Bhagavad Gita says Brahma Loka, if you go, you come back also. For whom will come back? Those who do upasana, not for Ishvara, but Pratika means become the end for some people. It's too much of legal classes, no? Tight conditions. So, what we discussed now, what was discussion was that path of return, no return, which is actually Upasaka will go to Brahmaloka. So the question was, if you go to Brahmaloka, will you get a mukti? He'll go to Brahmaloka, he'll do Shravana, Mana, Nididhyasa under the guidance of Brahmaji or Ishvara. Then he'll get mukti, Jivan mukti. And then he'll get Videya mukti. When Brahmaji goes to Pralaya, he'll also get mukti. Now, what if he doesn't get Jnana there itself? He spends some couple of trillion years, still he doesn't get Jnana. Because Brahmaloka is a very comfortable place. No urgency for getting Jnana. So, then what will happen? He will take a birth in another Brahmaji, next Brahmaji. But he doesn't come back to earth. Okay. Then what will happen to people who have done Upasana, but not the Upasana for going to Saguna Brahma? Their focus is not on the Ishvara. Their Vigraha means become end. Annam Brahmeti Upasita, Nama, their name becomes Vigraha. Their eyes are focused on not the higher. Whatever you think, you become that. It's called Brahmar Kita Nyaya. Right? So now these people are not qualified for Brahmaloka. They will not go. Atimano Purusha will not take them to Brahmaloka. He will take they will go to Tapaloka or Gnanaloka or Maharloka, lower level lokas. But higher than the Swargaloka. They will enjoy for longer period of time. Then you will again come back to earth. So this completes Pada 3. Pada 3 is about Upasana. What will happen to Upasaka? How will he die? Where will he go? How will he get liberation? All conditions are covered. Now Pada 4 is about Gnani. What will happen to him? Okay. So Pada 4, Gnani, what will happen to him? Because there are also people who have doubt, right? So that doubt is being clarified in Pada 4. Mukti means some doubts will be there. The doubts will be clarified in the Pada 4. So the Pada 4 will take some 3 to 4 classes. So there is a mistake. Yesterday I told today is the last class of Pada 3, the third Pada. Fourth Pada will take another 3 or 4 classes. That will complete the Brahma Sutra. So let's sit silently for some time. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamuduchyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Nanu Nanembudu Nanalla Ideha Manabuddhi Nanalla Sachidanandatma Shivananunani Shivoham 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 Atmadarshanam Brahmadarshanam Brahmadarshanam Satyadarshanam. To know the self is to know God. To know God is to be God. To be God is to know the truth. Antarjyotihi Bahirjyotihi Pratyakjyotihi Paratpara Jyotireva Jyotihi Swayam Jyotihi Atma Jyotihi Shivosmeham. I am the light of the self, awareness, Atma Jyoti. I am the light illuminating the entire world, Jagat Jyoti. I am the light beyond all lights, Param Jyoti. I am the self-luminous light, Swayam Jyoti. Light of love, light of compassion, light of wisdom. Lokaha samastaha Sukino Bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha Sukino Bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha Sukino Bhavantu. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Gently rub both of your hands and slowly open your eyes. So there are, you can see the videos in the Light of Self website by subscribing to Light of Self Foundation. You can go to our web page or Facebook. There are many programs for children, I-Lead programs. You can subscribe to that. With that, we'll conclude today's session of Brahma Sutra. This completes the Pada 3. What happened to Saguna Upasaka? Then what happened to Nirguna Upasaka or Gnani? Some doubts are getting clarified in the Pada 4. Pada 4, we'll do it on Friday. Any questions? Just unmute it. Anybody has any questions? So nobody has a question. So that means all are in Brahmaloka. Unmute. I'm unmute. So on Friday, I'll take Pada 4, which is very interesting Pada. What happened with Nani? With a lot of complications of Upasana, probably possibly it's better to become a Gnani.